We're here on the Euro Aussie 15-minute time frame, and this is another flag breakout pattern. This is a pattern I came across when doing my back testing. It's very similar to a flag, though it isn't, but it acts in a similar way, and I'm able to play for a retest of the lows. Now, let me just remove the orders first of all. So, all we're looking for is a momentum move. It has to be a very directional or momentum move, and we're just looking at the market just retracing. Most of them will be bullish candles with a few red candles in there, just as can be seen. We don't really have a trend within it per se. You can't clearly see that we're touching the sides of the trend line, so it's not a normal flag for me. But what we look for then is the breakout. And I managed to get involved just here as we broke out the channel and we pulled back, and then I sold the market, and as you can see now we've clearly broken out of the channel. And if I just bring the orders back on, you can see that I've got my stop actually above this level of structure here. And if we go to the 60-minute time frame, I should have put my targets. Yeah, there we go. Targets are at the top of the closes of the candles by a few pips. It isn't a pattern that I play for extended targets on. It's just one where I play for a retest of the lows. So what does it mean in terms of risk and reward? Well, I've got my stop a bit further back than is needed here, but as I say, I wanted to get behind that level of structure, because even though we've had the breakout, sometimes we do carry on up a little bit. Just like anything, when you're trading, you do need to give it room to breathe, and just look at the risk reward I've got here. So I prefer to have a higher win rate than a better risk to reward, because overall for me I make more pips, and it does wonders for the mind when you have that higher win rate. And so in this instance we're talking 21 pips of risk and 48 of reward, so over a 2-to-1 risk to reward there. Very nice looking trade thus far, because we've broken out of the channel, and we'll come back and do an update on this trade if we get close to targets or stops. Little update on this trade. Currently now 27 pips up. We did see a retracement. Market trying to scare me out of the position. Well, it ain't going to work. I'm still in it. So I'm hoping we're going to put a new low in here, and we'll come back. Hopefully then see it hit targets. So here we are back on the Euro Aussie, and we've had quite a big push lower, currently 45 pips up. Actually looks like we've got 4 pips to go until target. So yeah, this is going to be worth 48, 49 pips if we do manage to hit. Would be very nice to see that, but you can see now we've made a new low bit below this level. So what I'm just going to do is reduce in actual fact I can move to break even here, because we've broken below this level. Not closed below it yet, but we have broken below it for the time being. So I will be monitoring this trade, particularly since we've got 9 minutes to go until the hourly candle closes. Okay, my alarm's just been triggered. We've come 1 pip from target now on this trade. There is my alarm, so no matter what happens here, this will be a break-even trade. Well, that stinks. We came 1 pip from targets, and the thing decided to put in a great big rejection candle. So we're at break-even anyway, so we'll just have to leave this trade now to see if it hits or if it doesn't. In front of you, I'm currently in 4 trades. The top left we have the New Zealand dollar. It's a form of flag pattern breakout. The Euro New Zealand is exactly the same trade. It's a form of flag breakout. And bottom left, Euro Aussie, we'd actually come 1 pips from my target. And so what I've done now is, because we didn't actually make a new structure low, but I'd come 1 pip away, I've moved my stop to 4 pips of risk. So that's not a break-even trade, it's 4 pips of risk. And on the pound yen 240 we have a flag pattern, and we had a big daily engulfing candle would come into the 149 flat. And so I'm having to record all 4 of these because we have news out at 7 o'clock. In fact, you can just see a little bit of volatility kicking in before the news. And we have a lot of news out. We've got the FOMC 2 lots of FOMC, federal funds rate, and then a bit more news at 7:30. And I'm recording it because I only have one Camtasia, and I'm in these 4 trades. Now, I've checked my stop losses on all of them. I'll just run through just the video because we've only got a couple of minutes now until this news comes out. And if I zoom out in this one, we actually have room here to go for first and second targets. On the hourly, this was a double bottom, pull back for a 26.18. I don't play 26.18s, but I can use them as entries into other patterns. And we actually had this pattern here, which is a kind of a flag, and you play the breakout, and I can play for 2 targets here. On the Euro New Zealand, we had pretty much the same thing. We double topped, pulled back for 26.18, never made the new low. And obviously you can see just the sideways consolidation as a result of the news. Euro Aussie, same pattern, flag. This would be a 1 in 1 out. Got 47 pips up, needed to go to 48. If that thing doesn't win, that will be the 3rd trade in 2 weeks where it's happened to me and cost me just shy of 200 pips. This came 1 pip away, I had one that came 4 pips away, and I had one that came 2 pips away. And in each instance I've gone and checked the hourly, the 240, for structure, for the closes of the candles. In actual fact, I've already front run this by 3 pips from the closes of these candles down here. And there's just no reason for me to be a little bit unlucky, other than the fact that I was a little bit unlucky. You know, there was no level of structure, no even handled numbers, there was no fib cluster, there was no the closes of the candles on each of the different time zones. So we're seeing bits of a fluctuation here now. News should be out in a moment, and we could see a jump in either way. And so I'm just going to log into my phone as well, just to make sure that we don't have anything ridiculous happen with my okay, Euro New Zealand, been taken out of that. Rallying up on the New Zealand dollar. Euro Aussie is struggling a little bit. Okay, why have I been stopped out Euro New Zealand? I was nowhere near it. Why the heck has Euro New Zealand stopped me out? Oh, look at that. 28 pips. Why has it stopped me out there? Came up to here. My stop was up here. Look at that. It stopped me out 20 pips early, but yet not charged me anything. Just stopped me out 20 pips early, and the cost of the spread is 3 pips. Well, we saw a knee-jerk reaction there. The market, it's only a minute gone, just starting to potentially settle down a little bit. Now, it's so frustrating that on the Euro New Zealand, this was a potential winning trade for 51 pips, and it stopped me out 20 pips early. Okay, pushing up a little bit now. I just know Euro New Zealand is going to go and go ahead and win here. Okay, so targets hit here. So I'll move to break even. This hasn't taken, so I'm going to go ahead and close that position out. I'm holding for second positions on the New Zealand dollar. Highly frustrating. I just know that Euro New Zealand is going to go on and win. I'm going to have to speak to the broker regarding that, because I've actually checked the rates here, and there you go, it's now 1.5 and it stopped me out 20 pips early. Market didn't jump. Absolutely crazy. Well, as I thought, pound yen hasn't really been affected that much. We'll just hold a few more minutes and see if the New Zealand dollar can rally up to hit second targets. I'll pause the video and come back to it. Okay, I've just resumed the video. We're pushing up here on the New Zealand dollar. Just hit my... There we go. Targets hit. I did manually exit that position just in case we got a reversal. Euro New Zealand. There you go. Absolutely crazy. That was 3 for 3 winning trades, yet the Euro New Zealand stopped me out. I'll go back and rewatch this recording, but it must have stopped me out by 20 pips. You can see the market has not jumped. It didn't become erratic. I was logged into my phone at the time. It wasn't near 3 pips, and it's just gone on to actually hit now. Pound yen, as suspected, hasn't really done a great deal, but there we go. Anyway, I'll give my broker a ring and have a listen to what they have to say.